Happy Monday, June 23rd. June is just zipping by, although now we're getting into some very, very hot days. So if you have animals outside, take care of them. I was out this morning at the barn putting all my horses in because putting them under fans so they can survive in this heat a little bit easier. So take care of your pets. Watch your HVAC units. Especially your AC unit outside. I have had to call HVAC folks this week, and they are swamped. So do your best to take care of your systems. Always, always, always have them serviced in the fall and in the spring. Might help you from not having any emergencies when it's 100 degrees out. So you all take care of that. Okay, so today's Market Monday. I'm going to kind of make this quick today, and we're going to talk about what happened this time last week for the whole week, and then we're going to talk about what happened last year the same week. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Hopefully, we can get this right. Excellent, excellent. So, as we always do, we do Cabarrus, Mecklenburg, Union, Gaston, Iredell, York, and Lancaster counties. I know there's some other ones involved. We'll look at the SAM report in a few minutes because the Charlotte MSA is a little bit larger, but the data is pretty similar. Okay, so we're going to hit the stats button here because this is what I'm really most interested in because this kind of makes things a little bit concise for us. So, what we've got here, I'm sorry, I don't know what my okay, we'll just leave it like this. If it changes again, I'll do my best to kind of get it figured out. Okay. So here's what we have. We have active in the last week 634 listings, under contract 358 shows, 198 no shows under contract, and 446 homes closed. 22 expired. I'm always looking at those expireds right now because it's an interesting piece of data for me. And, you know, top listing, top price listing house was 2.95 million. Average list is 577. Under contract show average is 564. There was a $6.495 million house that went under contract. And then under contract shows average 568, 183, and 2.6 million for its top under contract no show price. Look, we've got 577, 564, 568. These are tracking. Okay. These are tracking. Now, what happened with our average close price? 637. So what happened? Well, we had almost a $6 million house close. We had a $79,000 house close. And look, guys, these are all single family resales. No new construction in this. And average day on market for these closed is 32. So, of course, you're going to have higher ones. You're going to have lower ones. This six a $5.995 million house that closed was on the market 290 days. That is an expectation for properties in that price point. But as an average, we've got 32, and the median is actually 12. Okay, so things are still moving along at a pretty good clip. Average day on market for the under contract shows is 39 and 31, respectively, for the no shows. So that's all tracking pretty similarly, and yeah, I think that those are good numbers to take a look at. Now, let's look and see what happened, and let me see if I can share this with you. Y'all know I am terrible at this sharing stuff. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay. So this is what we've got. We have an average, and this is all just closed and expired. Okay. So guys, don't take this personally because I can't show you what was listed that week because there's nothing there that was listed that week. Anyway, just bear with me. So average close price this time last year was 595 690. And then there were some expireds. So 595, 960. And where were we this time last year, or this past month closed? 625. Okay. So we're up a little over $25,000 from one the same week, 365 days apart. This is what we're looking at for our data. So our market's a little slower. Yes, it's a little slower. Our market is not red hot. Okay, buyers can negotiate more. Sellers are having to actually like get some staging done, get some better photographs, but they're having to have conversations with people about getting their home ready in a way that's not like it was a couple of years ago. Okay. A couple of years ago, people were putting their house on the market to see what they could get. Now it's not that way. Okay. So I went to a house last week for a listing appointment, and they lived in that house 3 years, and it's tough. They've got to do some work. They've done some painting that is very, very um, stylized for their way of living. That's a nice way of saying they needed to repaint. And so I got some text messages over the weekend about having to repaint, that they were repainting, and it looked good. So, I'm not an interior decorator, but I know what I like and I know what works. And so I went in and gave them a list, and they are diligently working on that. If you have very stylized paint schemes, if you have geographic paint features on a wall, you might want to think about painting over that, because buyers now are a little bit more discerning. They're not having to take the first thing that goes on the market. In most cases, not everywhere. There's still some places where things are really hot, but if you're a seller, we're back to painting and staging. So don't don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. You also have to pack up. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the SAM report. We always look at this on Mondays. And here we have, this is the Charlotte MSA, so the Charlotte metro area. And we're going to look at average sales price, which is, the entire MSA. So the entire area is 548, and that's including some outlying South Carolina regions and westerly North Carolina regions. So this paints a little bit of a different picture, but it's not that different. Day on market is important. Average day on market in the entire metro region right now is 35. Okay. But look where it was in January, 51. Okay. So this is actually good for us. Day on market is dropping. And yes, we have some dips here. Okay. But we didn't have much dip last year. April, May, June, things started going up. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, and now we're decreasing. We'll see what happens this time next month. Okay. Percent of original price, we're looking at 96.8% overall in our market. Now, look, this is single family homes resales. Okay. That's not new construction. You guys know I love the showings depending. We are at 8 showings. So on average, and this is average, or no, this is average, I'm sorry. On average, 12. Median is 8. On average, 12 showings to go between the time the home goes active to the time the home goes under contract. So that's what you're shooting for, a dozen showings. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that that doesn't count people that go into open houses. Okay. So you are trying to have enough traffic in the first 30 days to get that house under contract. And to do that, you're looking at an average of 12 showings per listing. Okay. Okay. Day on market, average day on market. We talked about that. Closed sales in the month of May was 2,665. And look, this is something to take a look at because we haven't 2665. We haven't been there since June 2023. So things are getting better. Things are getting better. Now, we have a decent amount of inventory. And this right here shows you that. May 2025, we had 4,269 homes that went on the market. Okay. We haven't had that since June, July 2022. So this is what we're looking at. And so this is a really, really interesting, this is an interesting number. So we are rapidly moving. And look, this is May 2025. May 2022, we were at 4176. In May 2025, we're at 42. So we were over 100 above that number from 2022. So I will be interested to see at the end of the 1st of July where this data takes us. But we will talk about this again because I want to see what we had in June this year to see if we are moving higher inventory or is that starting to drop. I suspect our inventory is going to stay kind of on the highest level, but we're going to take a look and find out for ourselves. All right. So